So what I'm going to be showing you here is Cash Stacks Gold. This is a new series. It came out earlier this year in Australia. It's performing around 1.4, 1.5 house average now. Earlier in the year, it came out around 1.7, 1.8. That's a really important thing to be noting, is that our performance indicators, we need to make sure we're getting these games right. And so Australia has proven to be a great test market for us, and test market is probably a poor way of putting it. It's one of the hardest markets in the world to get games right. We had a philosophy of bringing titles over earlier before we'd actually, I think, worked out all the kinks. And so this is a title that is working out all the kinks, right? Making sure that there's subtleties in the game that we can fix, and we do, but making sure that once they reach that North American market, we have something that we are confident that is building a library of proven performance on your floor. So Action Dragons game here is one of the games underneath the Cash Stacks Gold series. The nice thing about this, it's reinforcing that sight sound action that I talked about earlier. So you have the visual arts when you walk up to this. I think it's really important for the player, as they're walking across the floor, what is it that's inviting them to come play that title? So that's the visual arts. And I want someone to be able to see that not just from 5 or 10 feet away. I want it to be 50 feet away, to 100 feet away. What's drawing that player into that experience? And then on the audio side, we really are reinforcing that. I think historically, Ainsworth has had a number of great signature sounds in their brand, but some of those signature sounds were overwhelming the player. And so there's something that we were dealing with, which was player fatigue. So we've dialed a lot of that back, like just to make sure that when a sound is played, a player understands why that sound is there. And also, as importantly, we pulled sounds out because sometimes you're overstimulating the player and they get overwhelmed with that experience. And then at the end of the day, action, right? It's all about the mathematics. Why do I want to play this game? Do I understand how I can win? And do I have enough bankroll to kind of maintain my experience through? So what this game has is it has base game hits, so it has an instant win prize, happens around 1 in every 60 spins, but sustainability in the base game, especially for your higher end punter, is a really important component. Can I chase that bigger prize? So what Cash Stacks has is when you hit a special symbol in the base game, which is here, 5th reel, instant prize. If it stacks all 3, you win that prize. So got $5 bet here going on, so 8 times my bet. Is it a big win? No, but it's not designed to be, right? It's designed just to buy you a few more tomorrows or a few more games along the way to win. You'll also notice, I'll reinforce this again, the sounds have been dialed way back. And as you sit here and play this experience, right? Nice chase on the end. We don't overstimulate anymore. So it's been a nice shift from where we were going.
And what's really nice with that too is it's very intuitive to the player, right? You played it, you got that 5th reel, it's like a pleasant surprise. It's a birthday present you weren't expecting. You see it, you see how close you came, and then you kept on going. That's right. And the nice thing with this, as Dave said, there's really 3 chases for the player. We're giving them all kinds of different things to go after, but now we'll show you the granddaddy of them all, the big chase.
That's right. So we have a secondary chase here, and really this is what the game is all about, and that's the stack and hold component. So there's also a free game element inside of here, but the stack and hold is a very unique take on the hold and spin type of category. So we got hold and stack. Basically what you're doing here is each one of these is worth a prize value, but your goal is also to be chasing these prizes that are going across the top, right? So right now, I've got 2 of these symbols in the center reel that I'm now chasing this prize. I also have the ability along the way to add extra spins to continue on my quest for this. And as you notice, as I collect and land these, on the next spin, these values have actually incremented up. So reel set 2, I just got a $40 win up here, plus these 3 will also reveal a prize at the end of this event. So this game actually has a lot of juice in it, and what's exciting for me as a player is, all right, I'm not just going for these prizes, but I'm also going for the ones above. And we have seen some monster prizes up here. And the later and deeper you go into the event, the bigger these values become. It's also the way that we can create and dangle the grand prize. So we don't require the player to get 15 symbols in order to have a chance to win the grand. So we'll put that up there. So it brings and pulls that entry point inside of that a little bit closer and tangible for the player. So yeah.
That went up on the other side, David, so you can show them
Perfect.
the progression that we can take a look at there. So as you get the respins and the re-triggers, how often does it take for it to start to get up to those higher levels?
Oh, listen, it happens pretty early. There's actually, in this game, it's advantageous not to land as many prizes early on, because every time you land one prize, it increments the value. So if you have a prize set here, let's say it doesn't require 6 to trigger. That's also an important element. It's a three trigger symbol in the base. But the less you land, as long as you land one along the way, you still get the prize increments. The important thing is you're also getting that +1 free game along the way, right? So it's not land one and you get 3 symbols again. We incentivize the player, and sometimes you can land +2, +3, which gives them even more spins or chances at these prizes. But here we're playing a $2 spin, or $2 per credit bet. We got $40, not a trivial bet, but example, what I was just talking about. This now landed 3 additional free spins. They've got 9 more chances at this right now to chase these prizes. And you can see on a $2 bet, actually, they're incrementing on every spin now. So it's a slightly different mechanic in Australia. So this is one of the improvements we're talking about live on the fly here, where we've made sure that we're doing that per spin. But here, we got $1,000 prizes going on now. I've got 5 spins going on to catch that. 2 more, so I'm at 6. Come on, $4,000 prize. All right, well, there we go, we got 2. And this may be a gaffed event, but this is real math. This is not artificial at all. There you saw exactly where we introduced the bigger prizes. So now we have the major chase on top of this, and the grand. So the player genuinely has a chance to win the grand now, falling in this column. $400 for this one. Another 1,000. Well, that was weird. It was there. There we go, $1,000, and we're done. So paying all these prizes first, as I said, the grand and major we didn't pay because we didn't stack the whole prize there, but now we do each one of these individually with a reveal, so it adds a little bit of drama for the tail end of the player.
Well, and the fact that the amounts aren't always static, they do vary across as to where they're locked in. And again, it's very nice that we've kept it very intuitive to the player. Like, again, as I've said, when you can see the prizes, you can win it, right? So this is, again, the big chase that they're going for. When they were in our 5th real chase, that's when they can win the minor and the mini, right? So that's the bankroll extender. This is where you say, hey, I just got into my spins, I cashed out, I am ready to move on and go on to something fantastic.
And almost 100 times prize here, right? Or 100 times wager. So again, real math. But that's the polish and the refinement we've been pushing on, and this is all about that multi-denom player, right? Whether you're an entry-level bet at the 1 or 2 cent player, or if you're moving into the 5 and 10 cent slightly lower line count, or going up to the $1 and $2 action, right? That it is designed for a multitude of players and how it appeals to them on your floor.
And that's a good comment, David, because we talk about returning to that core gambler math model that Ainsworth was so famous for when we first came across with one of our quad shot games and that type of a family. These are not games to be confused with your penny, time on device type games. These are really for that core player. We need to be very selective about how we place them and where they go.